This is section B of Guess Paper 2026. तो इसका फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, What is a computer system? Computer system क्या होता है? A computer system is the combination of hardware and software that works together to perform task. जो कि क्या करते हैं, हार्डवेयर और सॉफ्टवेयर दोनों इकट्ठे काम करते हैं किसी टास्क को परफॉर्म करने के लिए. It accepts input, processes data, store information and produce output. ये क्या करता है? ये इनपुट को एक्सेप्ट करता है, उस पर प्रोसेसिंग करता है और आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस कर देता है, और बाज औकात उसको स्टोर की अगर जरूरत हो तो वो स्टोर भी कर सकता है, जिसको हम स्टोरेज कहते हैं. हार्डवेयर इंक्लूड्स फिजिकल पार्ट्स सच एज कीबोर्ड, माउस, सीपीयू एंड मॉनिटर. ये सब के सब हार्डवेयर के पार्ट्स होते हैं. सॉफ्टवेयर इंक्लूड्स programs and instructions that tell the computer what to do. Example is a laptop used for typing, calculation and internet browsing is a computer system. How to get full marks if you will write definition of the computer, hardware, what is hardware, tangible parts of the computer is called hardware, software mean a specific instructions or set of instructions that can be given to the computer to perform a specific task, that is called software. And you can produce one example. Next, or part is a student wants to solve a problem using a computer. Explain how computational thinking will help him solve it step by step with one example. Computational thinking is a method of solving a problem in a logical and organized way. इसमें problem को logically और organized way से solve किया जाता है. It helps the students break the problem into smaller parts. इसमें क्या किया जाता है, एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम को smaller part में शिफ्ट किया जाता है या ट्रांसफर किया जाता है या कन्वर्ट किया जाता है. ठीक है, और ऐसी स्मॉलर प्रॉब्लम में जिनका सोल्यूशन पॉसिबल हो, और इसको कहते हैं डिकम्पोजिशन. इट हेल्प्स हिम focus only on the implementation detail, important details, and ignore unnecessary details through abstraction. He can also identify similar patterns and then design step-by-step instruction called an algorithm. इसके बाद क्या किया जाता है, इसके similar patterns को identify किया जाता है और फिर उसके algorithm लिखी जाती है ताकि problem को solve किया जा सके. Example: to make tea, the student breaks the task into steps such as boiling water, adding tea leaves, adding milk, and serving. How to get full marks? Use the word decomposition. Decomposition means converting a complex problem into a smaller problems. Abstraction mean hide the implementation detail, unnecessary details from the user. Pattern recognition and algorithm. Question 2.2 is differentiate between natural and artificial systems with one example each. A natural system exists in nature and is not made by human. Example: solar system, digestive system. ये natural system में आते हैं. An artificial system is a system made by humans. और artificial system को human ने बनाया होता है for a specific purpose के लिए. Example: computer system, school management system, like that. So the main difference is that natural system occur naturally, while artificial systems are designed by humans. How to get full marks? Give definition of both terms and one example of each. Next, or part is a school uses an online attendance system. Is it natural or artificial? Justify your answer. A school online attendance system is an artificial system. It is artificial because it is designed and developed by humans. It uses computers, software, and networks to record and manage attendance. It does not occur naturally in nature, so it cannot be called a natural system. So, how to get full marks? First state artificial system, then give clear justification. Question 2.3. What are input devices? Give two examples. Input devices are the hardware devices used to enter data and instructions into a computer. They allow the user to communicate with the computer system. Example is keyboard and mouse. Other example include scanners, microphone, and webcam. To get full marks, write definition first and then at least two examples. Our part is why are input devices necessary for a computer system? Input devices are necessary because they help user enter data and instructions into the computer. Without input devices, the computer cannot know what task the user wants to perform. जो आप इनपुट देंगे उसके अगेंस्ट या उसके corresponding वो क्या करेगा, उसका वो एक्शन परफॉर्म करेगा. They make communication between the user and computer possible. Example is a keyboard is needed to type text and a mouse is needed to select items on the screen. For full marks tip is use the line without input devices. The computer cannot receive instructions. You must use this type of keywords. Question 2.4 is what is motherboard? Describe its role in connecting different components of a computer system. The motherboard is the main circuit board of a computer. It connects important components such as CPU, RAM, storage devices, and other hardware parts. It provides pathway through which data and signals travel between components. Therefore, it helps all parts of the computer system to work together properly. Tip is use the keyword main circuit board and connects component. Our part is why is CPU called the brain of the computer? Support your answer with one reason. The CPU is called the brain of the computer because it controls and manages all major operations. It processes instructions and performs calculations. It also coordinates the work of other components such as memory and input-output devices. Therefore, just like the brain controls the human body, the CPU controls the computer system. Full mark tip is use control all operations as the main justification. Question 2.5 is what is ALU? Describe its role in performing arithmetic and logical operation. ALU stands for arithmetic logical unit. It is a part of the CPU and perform arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It also performs logical operations such as greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and equal to, or comparison. Thus, ALU helps the computer in calculation and decision making. How to get full marks? Mention both arithmetic and logical operations. Our part is how does the control unit help during instructions execution? The control unit controls and coordinates all activities of the CPU during instruction execution. It fetches instructions from memory and interprets them. It sends control signals to other parts of the computer to perform the required task. Therefore, the control units ensure that all steps are carried out in the correct order. How to get full marks? Use the keywords or words like fetches, interpret, control, and coordinates. Question 2.6. Differentiate between RAM and ROM. RAM is volatile memory, so its data is lost when the power is turned off. जब तक आप इसको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोवाइड करते रहेंगे ये काम करती रहेगी. जब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इसको प्रोवाइड करना बंद कर दोगे then it will lose the data. ROM is non-volatile memory, so its data remain stored even when power is off. RAM is used for temporary storage during processing. ROM stores permanent instructions such as startup instructions. How to get full marks? Use keyword volatile, temporary, and non-volatile or permanent, like that. Or part is, why is RAM called volatile memory? RAM is called volatile memory because it loses its stored data when the power supply is turned off. It stores data and instructions only permanently while the computer is working. जब ये कंप्यूटर काम कर रहा होता है तो ये वक्ती तौर पर कुछ डेटा और इंस्ट्रक्शंस अपने अंदर स्टोर करती है। यूं ही जब हम पावर देना इसको बंद कर देंगे तो क्या होता है, ये डेटे को लॉस कर जाती है। When electricity stops, the contents of RAM are erased. That is why RAM is suitable for temporary processing, not permanent storage. How to get full marks? The strongest phrase is losses data when power is turned off. Question is 2.7. Differentiate between primary and secondary memory. Primary memory is directly accessed by the CPU and is usually faster. It is used for temporary storage during processing, example RAM. Secondary memory is used for permanent storage and is usually slower. Example includes hard disk, SSD, USB flash drive. How to get full marks? Compare speed, storage type, and CPU access. The OR option is, a student wants fast access and large storage. Which memory type will be used? Explain briefly. The fast access, the student will use primary memory, especially RAM. RAM is faster and directly used during processing. For large storage, the student will use secondary memory such as hard disk or SSD. Secondary memory can store a large amount of data permanently. इसमें डेटा permanently store किया जाता है. How to get full marks? Write RAM for speed and hard disk or SSD for large storage. Question is question number 2.8. Differentiate between data bus and address bus. A data bus carries the actual data between CPU, memory, and other components, while an address bus carries the memory location or address where data is to be sent or received. जहां पे डेटे को भेजना हो उसका एड्रेस और जहां से डेटे को पिक करना हो उसका एड्रेस को कैरी किया जाता है बाय एड्रेस बस के थ्रू. So the data bus transfer content while the address bus transfer location. Both buses help the CPU communicate with memory and other devices. How to get full marks? The best contrast is data versus address and location. Or option is, or question is, how do buses help in communication between CPU and memory? Buses help in communication by providing pathways between CPU, memory, and other components. The data bus transfers actual data. The address bus carries memory addresses. The control bus carries control signals, so all the operations are performed properly. To get full marks, must mention data bus, address bus, and control bus. Next 2.9. What is data communication? Data communication is the process of transferring data between two or more devices. It involves a sender, a receiver, and a communication medium. The data may be traveled through cables, radio waves, or other signals. It follows rules to ensure correct and reliable communication. How to get full marks? Use such type of keywords like sender, receiver, medium. Our question is, name the 5 basic components of data communication and explain any one of them. The 5 basic components of data communication are sender, receiver, message, transmission medium, and protocol. Sender is the device that sends the data. Receiver is the device that receives the data. Protocol means the rules for communication. Anyone can be explained. For example, transmission medium is the channel through which data travels. How to get full marks? The tip is, first write all 5 components, then explain one clearly. Question number 2.10 is, what is a protocol? Explain its role in data communication with one example. A protocol is a set of rules that controls communication between devices in a network. ये rules होते हैं जो कि communication को control करते हैं. It ensures that data is sent. ये ensure करते हैं कि data sent किया गया यानी चला गया. Received and understood correctly. Protocols define how data is formatted, transmitted, and processed. Example is, one of the protocol is HTTP, is used to access web page on the internet. Full marks tip is, write set of rules and add one example. Our part is, why is protocol necessary in data communication? Give one example. Protocol is necessary because devices need a common set of rules to communicate properly. Without protocol, data may not be sent or understood correctly. It ensures accuracy, reliability, and proper formatting of data. Example, Hypertext Transfer Protocol helps browser and web servers communicate correctly. Full marks tip is, use the sentence like that: without protocol, communication will not be reliable. Next question is, differentiate between simplex and half duplex. Simplex transmissions allows data to travel in one direction only. Example, keyboard to computer read. Second example is radio broadcast. Half duplex transmission allows data to travel in both directions but not at the same time. Example, walkie-talkie. To get full marks, use the exact line both directions but not at the same time. Or option is, give one real-life example of full duplex communication. A real-life example of full duplex communication is a telephone call. In full duplex communication, both devices can send and receive data at the same time. During a telephone call, both people can speak and listen simultaneously. Therefore, telephone communication is a suitable example of full duplex mode. How to get full marks? The keyword are simultaneously and same time.